Cursed Quill, London, 1887. Renowned author Evelyn Kane gazed in horror at the empty display case, the ornate quill that had once rested there now missing. "Impossible," she muttered, her fingers tracing the dust outline on the velvet lining. This quill, rumored to possess otherworldly powers, had been in her family for generations. Who would dare? Kane wondered aloud, her mind racing with the implications. Little did she know, the theft was only the beginning of a terrifying ordeal. What might be the significance of this particular quill, and why would someone go to such lengths to steal it? In the days that followed the theft, Kane began to notice peculiar occurrences, events that seemed to mirror the fantastical plot of her latest unpublished novel. A raging storm appeared out of nowhere, downing trees and power lines. A pack of wolves descended upon the city, their eerie howls echoing through the streets. "This can't be mere coincidence," Kane muttered, her heart pounding with a growing sense of unease. What potential connections might exist between the strange events and the content of Kane's unpublished story? Determined to unravel the mystery, Kane sought the aid of her trusted friend and confidant, private investigator Felix Blackwood. Together, they pored over the details of the theft, searching for any clues that might lead them to the stolen quill. "The power of the written word made manifest," Blackwood murmured, his brow furrowed in concentration. "If the legends are true, then we may be facing a force beyond our understanding." What kind of legends or folklore might surround the mysterious quill, and how could they shed light on the disturbing events unfolding? As Kane and Blackwood delved deeper into the investigation, they made a chilling discovery. The pages of Kane's unpublished manuscript had somehow become stained with a faint crimson residue. "It's as if the words themselves have been tainted," Blackwood observed, his expression grave. What might the crimson residue signify, and how could it be connected to the theft of the quill and the strange occurrences? While examining the manuscript, Kane and Blackwood were horrified to witness one of the fictional characters step from the page, a malevolent gleam in their eyes. "The quill's power has been unleashed," the entity hissed, "and soon, the rest of your creation will join us in the real world." How might the ability of the fictional character to manifest in the physical world change the dynamics of the investigation and the potential threat facing Kane and Blackwood? Questioning the young apprentice who had been tasked with guarding the quill, Blackwood and Kane learned that the theft was orchestrated by a secretive cult, hell-bent on harnessing the artifact's power for their own nefarious purposes. They believe the quill can rewrite the very fabric of reality, the boy confessed, his voice trembling. They intend to use it to reshape the world in their image. What might the cult's motivations be for wanting to control the power of the cursed quill, and how could their plans threaten the stability of the world as Kane and Blackwood know it? As more of the characters from Kane's unpublished manuscript began materializing in the real world, the investigative duo realized they were running out of time. "We must find that quill before the cult completes their ritual," Blackwood urged, his eyes filled with a growing sense of dread. What clues or leads might Kane and Blackwood uncover that could point them towards the cult's location and their plans for the quill? Braving the dark, winding tunnels beneath the city, Kane and Blackwood finally discovered the cult's hidden lair. There, surrounded by arcane symbols and ancient tomes, the cult members chanted incantations, their fingers tracing the intricate patterns of the stolen quill. "Stop this madness!" Blackwood shouted, but his words were drowned out by the thunderous rumble of the earth itself. What horrific sights or events might Kane and Blackwood witness as they confront the cult in their lair? And how could the power of the quill be fueling the growing chaos? Faced with the imminent destruction of the city, Kane made a desperate gamble. "If you release the quill, I will write a new ending, one where your vision is made real," she declared, her hands trembling. The cult's leader considered her proposal, a sinister smile spreading across his face. "Very well, author. Let us see what your pen can accomplish." What might Kane be sacrificing or risking by offering to rewrite the story's conclusion to appease the cult? How could this decision further complicate the investigation and the potential resolution? As Kane frantically scribbled in her notebook, the very fabric of reality began to distort and shift around them. Blackwood fought against the onslaught of the cult's monstrous creations, desperate to reach the Quill before it was too late. "Time is running out," the cult leader bellowed, his eyes wild with triumph. "Soon, our new world will be born." What pivotal moment or critical choice might Kane or Blackwood face as they race against the clock to stop the cult's ritual and regain control of the cursed Quill? With a heavy heart, Kane knew what she had to do. Tearing the pages from her notebook, she cast them into the swirling vortex of energy surrounding the Quill. "No more," she said, her voice barely a whisper. "This ends now." What might be the consequences of Kane's actions, and how could they both hinder and aid the effort to stop the cult's plans? As the cult's ritual reached its climax, Blackwood seized his chance. Diving towards the Quill, he grasped it tightly, his fingers tracing the intricate designs. "If the power of the pen can reshape reality," he muttered, "then so be it." What bold and potentially risky move might Blackwood make in an attempt to wrest control of the Quill and use its power against the cult? With the Quill in his possession, Blackwood began to write furiously, his words rippling through the air like a palpable force. The cult's creations wavered and dissipated, the very landscape shifting and reforming around them. "None!" the cult leader shrieked, his voice fading as he and his followers were consumed by the maelstrom. How might Blackwood's use of the Quill's power radically alter the world in which Kane and the other characters find themselves, and what unforeseen consequences could arise from this dramatic rewriting of reality? As the dust settled, Kane and Blackwood surveyed the changed landscape, their expressions a mix of wonder and trepidation. "We've averted one disaster," Blackwood murmured, "but at what cost?" The city lay in ruins, and the duo realized that the power of the Quill was still an unpredictable and dangerous force. "We must find a way to contain it," Kane said, her voice tinged with urgency. What challenges or threats might Kane and Blackwood face as they try to secure the Quill and stabilize the fragile new world they've created? How could the repercussions of their actions continue to unfold in unexpected ways? In the aftermath, Kane and Blackwood discovered the true origin of the cursed Quill, a dark legacy spanning centuries with roots in ancient magic and the obsession of Kane's own ancestors. "We've only scratched the surface," Blackwood murmured, his brow furrowed in contemplation. What revelations about the Quill's history and the Kane family's past might shed new light on the gravity of the situation and the responsibility Kane and Blackwood now shoulder? Despite their victory over the cult, Kane and Blackwood soon realized that the group's sinister influence had not been entirely erased. Remnants of the cult, driven by a fanatical desire to reclaim the Quill, began to emerge from the shadows, determined to undo the changes Blackwood had wrought. How might the cult's persistent efforts to regain the Quill's power complicate Kane and Blackwood's efforts to stabilize the new reality and prevent further catastrophic events from unfolding? As the stakes grew higher, Kane faced a harrowing dilemma. Should she use the Quill's power again to counter the cult's machinations, risking further unintended consequences? Or should she resign herself to the fragile new world, accepting the limitations of her craft? "The power of the pen is a double-edged sword," she murmured, her fingers tracing the intricate designs on the Quill's surface. What moral and ethical considerations might Kane grapple with as she contemplates the responsible use of the Quill's abilities? And how could her decision shape the ultimate resolution of the conflict? Realizing they could not face the cult's escalating threat alone, Kane and Blackwood were forced to make an uneasy alliance with the very individuals they had once fought against. "We must work together," Blackwood insisted, "or all will be lost." What unexpected allies or unlikely partnerships might Kane and Blackwood forge in their quest to protect the Quill and prevent the cult from undoing the changes to the world? With time running out and the cult's forces closing in, Kane and Blackwood formulated a desperate plan. "If we can't control the Quill's power, then we must find a way to destroy it," the detective declared, his gaze resolute. What risky or unorthodox measure might Kane and Blackwood take to permanently neutralize the Quill's dangerous capabilities and prevent the cult from ever wielding its power again? In the end, the Quill was safely secured, its power confined, and its legacy entrusted to the care of a select few. Kane and Blackwood surveyed the changed world, the scars of the conflict still visible, but the promise of a brighter future glimmering on the horizon. "The power of the pen can be a curse," Kane mused, "but in the right hands, it can also be a force for good." How might the events of this fantastical mystery continue to reverberate, shaping the lives of Kane, Blackwood, and the world they now inhabit? What new challenges or opportunities might arise from the lessons they've learned about the responsibility that comes with wielding such extraordinary power? The stolen Quill, rumored to possess the power to transform written words into reality, had fallen into the hands of a cult obsessed with rewriting the world in their own image. Kane and Blackwood's race to recover the artifact and stop the cult's ritual led to a climactic showdown where the detective ultimately seized control of the Quill and used its power to undo the cult's destructive machinations. However, the experience left them with a profound understanding of the dangers inherent in such a powerful tool. Determining that the Quill could not be safely kept in the hands of any individual, they sought to find a way to secure its power permanently, ensuring that it would never again be used to threaten the delicate balance of their newly reshaped world. The essential lesson from this story is, the power of the written word is a double-edged sword, capable of both great creation and devastating destruction. Those who wield such extraordinary abilities must do so with the utmost care and responsibility, ever mindful of the consequences of their actions. True progress and lasting change come not from the forced imposition of one's will, but from the patient, thoughtful shaping of the world through the power of ideas and the resilience of the human spirit. 1. How does the story explore the relationship between art, creativity, and the manipulation of reality? 2. What parallels can be drawn between the cult's desire to rewrite the world and real-world movements or ideologies that seek to impose sweeping societal change? 3. In what ways does the character of Evelyn Kane represent the role and responsibility of the artist or writer in shaping the world around them? 4. How does the fantastical element of the cursed Quill serve as a metaphor for the power and dangers of the written word, both in fiction and in the real world? 5. What ethical dilemmas do Kane and Blackwood face in their efforts to control the Quill's power, and how do they navigate the competing priorities of security, freedom, and the greater good? 6. How does the story's resolution, with the Quill's power being secured rather than destroyed, leave room for further exploration and the potential for future complications or storylines? 7. In what ways does the interactive format of the story enhance the audience's immersion and investment in the unfolding mystery and its resolution? 8. What broader themes or social commentary might the story be exploring through the lens of this fantastical narrative? 9. How does the story's setting in late 19th century London inform the cultural and historical context of the events? And how might a modern-day adaptation change the narrative's dynamics? 10. What lasting impact might the events of this story have on the lives of the protagonists and the world they inhabit, even after the immediate crisis has been averted? Share your theories, insights, and reactions in the comments below.